Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Empower. Today we're going to be talking about influencer marketing. Is it really worth the investment? Does it really work? Let's take a deep dive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more topics like these. Influencer marketing today is a booming industry and nobody can deny that. It is both a product of the digital age and pretty much what the digital age needs to survive today as well, right? I think when this whole industry came alive a few years ago, practically 10-15 years ago, nobody knew if it would last. Trust me, ask me about it. Nobody thought it would be a legit industry, and look at where we are today. 60% of internet users credit Instagram for product discovery. That's how impactful the industry has become. I'm always asked, are the investments into influencer marketing strategies really worth it? Coming straight from the horse's mouth, influencer marketing is a fantastic and almost it's a revolutionary marketing strategy, right? And it has incomparable return on investments, but to be honest, it's not always worth it. There, I said it. And frankly, I'm not even ashamed to admit this, right? It's such a large industry, but it's an industry that somehow has become almost like this secret to success or like this shortcut to success for brands. And I think that's not the point of it. You can't deny that it's a huge industry and quite a complicated one, right? Which is the reason for this video, because so many people just don't understand it. And over time, I think there have been these sort of unsaid rules that have been set that you can actually follow and be guided by to make sure your campaign is worth it. Unfortunately, I think I've been a part of so many influencer campaigns myself that have just gone south because the strategy and the awareness was not enough. But before I take you through the whys and hows of influencer marketing, let's look at the basics. Let's understand what an influencer really is. An influencer is someone who has the power to affect the purchasing decision of others. An influencer can impact your mind and thoughts because of his or her knowledge in a certain area, expertise in a certain field, position in industry, or simply even a relationship with a certain audience. And it's not just me who creates content on Instagram for a living who's defined as an influencer. An influencer also refers to that 13-year-old TikToker doing those dances, that Bollywood celebrity we all love to stalk, that writer on Instagram whose quotes we swear by, even that auntie in our building who always has the best discount recommendations. All of these people in some way or the other are actually impacting our thoughts and our minds and our actions and how we're behaving. So they could be influencers of different degrees, but that title belongs to all of them. Now coming to why influencer marketing is such a booming business, how it pretty much transformed brands and businesses across the globe, and how it became a $14 billion industry overnight. There obviously had to be something very distinctive about this industry, a star factor. You know what it was? The human connection. Human connection and trust are the crux of all businesses everywhere. But there's never been an industry that has elevated human connection and trust to this level the way this one has. When you follow an influencer, you become a part of the community. And a community of an influencer always looks up to them. And when this certain influencer has a product or a service to recommend, the community doesn't ever hesitate to believe that this product or service is absolutely worth it. When that product is associated with someone you adore, look up to, or inspired by, you automatically want to engage with that product. And that's what results in you making a purchase. First things first, it's a common myth that among marketing strategies, influencer marketing is one such strategy which will miraculously give you groundbreaking results overnight. No, that's not true, unfortunately. It's just a part of the solution. It's not the solution itself. There's a lot that you have to put in terms of with your brand and your business to make it a success. And yes, this is a great channel to achieve that, but it's not the only channel, and it's not one that's going to give you overnight success. The positive impact of working with an influencer is not always sales. Influencers can do so much more than just sales for your brand. In terms of the returns that they can bring, there's numerous ways which can impact your brand positively. They can direct more followers to your page. They can introduce your brand to their community, which creates brand awareness. The next time a consumer, sees your ad on Facebook, they see your product and they'll remember it. That, hey, I remember seeing this on my favorite influencer, so now I'm going to make that purchase that I was holding off on. 3, they can introduce your brand to editors or VIPs in the industry, which really helps to, gain leverage within the industry. 4, they can actually use their content to position your brand or product differently, you can actually use that to target a completely separate demographic. Like, let me explain. For example, if a mom blogger is talking about a speaker, right? The speaker is the product. She can actually position it in a way where you can use these speakers to spend more time with your kids or do more fun activities with your kids. Now, mothers may not have been a demographic that the speaker brand was really looking to target in the beginning, but through this influencer, they've discovered this whole new audience that they can actually tap into. It's extremely important to be transparent about your expectations with the influencer and their team. Be open enough to ask enough questions about what the influencer can bring on the table. Can they promise a return on investment? How do they think the product is going to perform in their sort of demographic, in their community? From my personal experience, if I know what's going to make my client happy, it is in my business's best interest to try my level best to ensure that that's what I can deliver to them. Now, coming to what kind of influencer is the right influencer for your brand, I think this is an extremely crucial point, and you have to be very, very careful in this process because a lot actually relies on this. The most popular influencer may not be the right influencer for you, and you kind of have to accept that. And I think the most crucial step here is actually creating your strategy and understanding what your end goal is. Once you have clarity about what your end goal is, what are you trying to achieve from this influencer strategy? Is it sales? Is it awareness? Do you want more features in magazines through this activity? Once you've identified that, then I think work backwards and try to find the right influencer to fit this niche. And how do you do this? Well, it's fairly simple. Step one would be to make a larger list of influencers that you think would be aligned with your brand broadly. Step two would be to do a deep dive into these influencers' platforms and content, and find out more about them. What do they like? What do they dislike? What are they like? What is their personality like? What is their lifestyle like? And does your product or service kind of fit into that lifestyle? Because, going back to the introduction of this video, it's really all about that human connection and trust. You want to promote your product or brand with someone who can actually represent, your business in the most authentic manner. So, for example, if you have a vegan product, right, you would rather go with a food blogger who's vegan because that talks about the very thought process of the person, about the individual's life choices. And while this sounds quite obvious, that obviously if it's a vegan product, we'll go for a vegan blogger, it's actually not that obvious. So many campaigns have come to me which we as a team have denied because we just think it's a terrible fit. Like, what were they thinking even approaching me when this doesn't fit into my vibe at all? This is not something that I even remotely have spoken about in the last 10 years of my blogging career. In the world of influencer marketing, size matters, but it also doesn't. Hundreds of reports on the internet actually prove that micro influencers are far more effective than macro influencers. I don't completely agree with this, but I don't disagree with this either. Because the very crux of the situation is that it doesn't matter how many followers the influencer really has. What matters is how accurately does this influencer fit your business, your brand, and also how accurately does this influencer fit your current strategy. It's almost like a general assumption that macro influencers will give you great brand awareness, they're amazing for product launches, micro influencers will give you much better conversions, and this actually holds true in a lot of cases if you're looking at it from a grand scheme of things. But that doesn't mean that there doesn't exist a macro blogger, which is a blogger with a large following, over 500,000, who can't give you great conversions. Just have to find the right fit. Okay, you guys are gonna love this point, and I just have to say it. You don't always have to pay for influencer marketing. Honestly, I know these are the golden words, but reaching out to an influencer and asking them to experience your product or service without a monetary exchange is not wrong. It's not unethical. I have personally never been offended by a brand coming up to me and offering me a product for free or as a gift. In fact, I've featured so many of the gifts that I've gotten. You guys see it on my feed all the time. I feature it all the time. When I was starting off my blogging career, I was on the lookout for like brands and fashion labels and handbags and shoe labels that would actually loan me items or gift me items that I could feature in my content. It was impossible to have that many items. If you're a startup or if you're in a phase, your entrepreneurial journey where you're finding it hard to find the budget for expansive influencer marketing strategies, you can reach out to bloggers who maybe are starting out and who are looking for products and services to create that content with. The only one thing that I would really insist on is you have to be honest and clear about your expectations. If a brand reaches out to me, ask me for my address, My team always ensures, to tell them that there is no guarantee that this gift or this sample is anywhere going to be featured. And only if the brand is okay with that, can they send it. This has really helped the whole process to become so much more easier, because I'm clear, I'm transparent. If you're sending an influencer a gift and you're expecting something in return, if you're expecting an obligation to post a story, I would urge you to clarify that before you send the item, because that's not something that's expected and it's not something that's understood. So honesty in this case and transparency will go a long way. As you join the influencer marketing bandwagon, and unless you aren't on it already, there is something known as internet trends, right? That you need to be very aware of and you need to make full use of. These trends keep on changing, right? So sometimes it's platforms that are trending. Sometimes it's features within platforms that are trending. Right now, Instagram Reels is something that's trending, right? Because Instagram as a platform is pushing this feature so much that any creator that's creating Reels consistently is automatically getting like this sort of organic push from the platform, because they want you to create more of that. Be on the lookout and have your eyes, ears, this entrepreneurial eyes and ears open, and be able to identify these trends and use them, apply it to your marketing strategy. This is the time, for example, and I don't know how long this phase is going to go on for, but this is a time to invest in an Instagram reel over an Instagram video. But you're only going to be able to make this decision if you have enough awareness. So do enough research and stay updated. So yes, that's about it, you guys. I'm actually just gonna finish with one really frequently asked question that comes on this topic is, how do you get in touch with an influencer? You can find the influencers or their team's email on their platform, whichever platform they're using, right? Whether it's Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, you'll always find their email in the about section, and the best way to reach out is through email. If you're using Instagram, I would also try DM. It's a great way for them to also check out your work instantly because they can see your profile. If I was in your case, I would do a DM and email combination, because you never know what you'll get a response with first, and I'm just that kind of a person. I like to go all in. So yes, that's about it. I really hope you enjoyed this topic. I know it's a hot topic and it's always being discussed, but I hope I could actually give you some insight on it and help make your influencer marketing process simpler, or just simply help you learn more about this today. I would love to answer any more questions that you guys have, so please let me know below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Lots of love and see you soon.